Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today I want to talk about some habits that took my anxiety from a 10 down to like a 3. Okay, I'm not perfect with it. I still struggle, but I will say I have drastically decreased the amount of anxiety that I suffer from in like the past 9 months or so, and I attribute that to some new habits that I took on. So first, I'm just gonna get it out of the way, like meditation. You know, you see it everywhere in every self-help thing, like just meditate, and I'm gonna say yeah, it works, but I'm not gonna talk about that because I feel like it's literally everywhere. But if you really truly are struggling, I would recommend meditating for at least 20 minutes every single night or morning or whenever you have your worst anxiety, okay? So that's out of the way. Also, basic things like getting enough sleep, yada, yada, yada. Going to therapy, taking medicine, you know, those things aside, what are some more specific things I did? I'll start with the actual hardest one for me, and that was cutting out added sugars from my diet. Now, I didn't cut it out entirely, so what I did was I was fully addicted to sugars, okay? Like, I'm talking, I would be eating cookies, brownies, candy, whatever, every single day, and I had cravings for these things every single day, multiple times a day. So I knew that if I were to reduce added sugars from my diet, I would have to do a cleanse to completely change my palate. So, and I do this every time I want to make a good, healthy dietary change that involves cravings. I will just completely cut it out of my diet for like at least 21 days, okay? Because 21 days builds a habit, but I went as far as 30 days, and I'll be completely honest with you, there was 3 times that I cheated in that 30 days, but I literally completely cut out anything that had added sugars from my diet during those 30 days. So even like I drank almond milk instead of regular milk, that had added sugar in it, and it was only a little bit, but I cut that out entirely. And everything else, you know, I replaced sugars with natural sugars. So instead I would just eat a lot of fruit, a lot of fruit. And I started drinking so much tea, which I wasn't expecting, but yeah, I was really just, whenever I'd get that sugar craving, I would just eat fruit, drink some herbal teas. And I realized, it dawned on me that there is so much nutrients in these alternatives that I just wasn't getting from things that had added sugars anyway. So it really just goes to show that your cravings for food is really spot on. You know, it's a good thing that you get cravings. It's your body saying, hey, I need this nutrient, can you eat it? Right? But the problem is we have created like artificial manufactured things to kind of sustain that craving but not actually give us the nutrient that we need. And I feel like that's kind of how a sugar addiction can begin. So I did that for 30 days. I did cheat 3 times because I went out to eat and there was this cream puff and it was calling my name. I can't help it. It was towards the end anyways. After I would say about 2 or 3 weeks, the craving stopped entirely, but I will say it was pretty rough. I noticed, and it wasn't immediate, I noticed on this sugar cleanse around the 3rd week, I'm actually like really calm, and that was not something that I was prepared for. Like, I didn't realize that doing this would actually improve my mental health. I mean, I figured, yeah, sure, mental health, whatever, but I was shocked at how much calmer I felt. To describe it to you, it kind of felt like I just didn't care as much about things that I cared too much about the month prior, okay? Like, I would be freaking out over every little thing in a certain relationship or with my career, and it's almost as if, like, I went on the sugar cleanse, I just stopped caring as much, but in the best way possible, you know? It wasn't a big dramatic shift either, it was just a gradual, like, yeah, it's whatever, peaceful. So I would definitely recommend that if you have a high sugar diet. If you live in America, by the way, I'm just telling you right now, you have a high sugar diet, like, so you especially, I'm talking to you, you are going to be shocked at how many things have added sugars that you don't realize. Like, it was impossible for me to find bread from a store that didn't have added sugar, so I just ate bread. Like, it had only a little bit, but you know, it's insane. Another thing I did, I started this back in August, it's now April, I started exercising how often you're supposed to exercise. And this wasn't a huge dramatic shift, okay? It's very reasonable. What I do is I go to the gym 3 times a week, and I only go for like 30 minutes, and each day I focus on a different group of muscles. I have my arm day, my ab and core day, and my leg day. That's all I do. I'm not one of those people who are going to be sitting there for 2 hours every single day, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just unrealistic. Be easy with yourself. Like, honestly, going to the gym for 15 minutes is better than not going at all. You know what I'm saying? So I go, I work out, I go home. And I do general cardio every day, and it's nothing intense. I'm not jogging down the street. I'm going for a power walk and just talking. You know, I'm pacing, I'm cleaning, I'm moving. So just getting your body moving, the actual recommended amount. And I even found that doing those little step counter things doesn't work for me either. Too lazy for that. So, you know, it's just very natural. You know, just make healthier choices when it comes to moving your body. And do it for health. Don't do it for the looks of it. Do it because, and that's why I started too, and I think that's why I still go to the gym to this day. This is the longest stretch of my life that I've been consistently working out, and I attribute that to the fact that I am going not to reach any weight loss goal or to look a certain way. I am going to feel better, to not be anxious, because it is proven that by exercising, you are drastically reducing anxiety. You're burning off stress. Not only that, but you're feeling so much more confident in yourself when you exercise, even if you're not looking what you ideally want to look like. The actual act of exercising makes you more confident, and it boosts your sex drive and so many other great benefits. Highly recommend. Another tip is getting sunlight and fresh air. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk too much about that one. Pretty self-explanatory. Get sunlight, get fresh air every day if you can. And then another one is planning regular social events. So what I in particular do is I want to host an event once a month. I love cooking for people. I just have like a dinner party once a month, and every Sunday I go to a dinner, whether someone else is hosting it, whether I'm hosting it, with family, with friends, with whoever. And then also when I like actually go to the gym, I'm going with friends. I make regular social gatherings, right? Like I make sure that on a weekly basis I am spending time with friends, with family, whoever. And it's especially important if you're like me and you work from home. You really do have to schedule these things in, because you're not getting that social interaction from your job, which is honestly quite important. You know, when you're working from home, you don't realize you're pretty much on your own all day long, and it can get pretty crazy. I've been working from home for like over 5 years now. I've been doing it since before COVID made it cool, and it's really, really important, because when you don't have that social interaction, you start to get a little stir crazy. You start to feel like, I don't know, a dog that needs to be walked really bad. I don't know. It's hard to describe. So I noticed last summer I had really, really bad anxiety, and I realized that it was anxiety's fault and not my lifestyle's fault when I would get anxious over a certain situation, and then I would resolve it, and then lo and behold, a few days later, I would only just have something else to be anxious about. So it kind of, I didn't realize I was so anxious at first, because it would always be because of something, right? In my reality, like, this relationship, you need to change this in order for me to not be anxious. Okay, well then they do that, and then I'm anxious again about something else, and it kept moving from like topic to topic. So I'm like, the problem isn't my reality or what's going on in my life. My anxiety is coming from within me, okay? So I just really try to focus on, okay, I'm feeling anxious. What is something I can do right now that is not focusing on my thoughts and anxiety? And you'll notice that all of these tips that I have given you involve your physical body. Because the thing is, anxiety, all of the energy is up here in your head. Racing thoughts, nonstop thinking, like blah, 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 blah. So when you get dropped down, get your eagle on, girl. When you drop down into your body, into your physical space, that creates more balance in your life. And honestly, just taking good care of your body will have profound impacts on your mind. The connection between your mind and body is so real. And it's something that I wish more doctors would actually take a look at. You know, every time I go to the doctors for a certain issue, they never correlate it with like the mind body connection. You know, I was having physical examples, like my stress and anxiety was so bad, I was breaking out in hives all the time for no reason, and my doctor literally said, I don't know what it is. Okay, I started having like chest pain from it. That was scary. I thought I had a heart attack one day. Turns out it was like either like a panic attack or like something, but apparently, you know how you carry stress like in your shoulders and in your neck? Well, apparently you can also carry it in your chest, and it's terrifying because it actually creates this popping sensation. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's just so important to take care of your physical body, because the correlation between that and your mind it's there. And anxiety is one of the biggest examples of this, because I feel like, sure, you can talk about what's making you anxious in therapy, you can take medicine, but that's not really getting to the root cause of things. And that's why meditation is the biggest thing for helping anxiety. It literally is training yourself, learning, practicing the art of acknowledging a thought and then choosing to let it go and slow your breathing and your heart rate down consciously. Like, it is literally the act of letting go of thoughts, letting go of anxiety. And every time you meditate, honestly, it's literally like all of the thoughts that you collected from the day, you kind of just like let go of all of them one by one and drop back down into your calm breathing. So the more often you meditate, it just does so much wonders for you. It's kind of like, meditation's kind of like clearing your inbox. If your mind is an email account and all of the thoughts you have are messages, when you meditate, you're cleaning out all the messages, okay? Like, nothing to do, nothing to focus on, just a beautiful state of receptivity and emptiness that is like the opposite of anxiety. So anyways, I can talk for hours and hours. I'm just gonna cut it off here. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope this gave you some inspiration for reducing your own anxiety. I'm not perfect. I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified to speak on any of this. This is just stuff that I experience from my personal life. Okay, I am much more peaceful now. I still struggle from time to time, don't get me wrong, still have my moments, but I will say that doing all of these tips that I shared with you today has dropped my anxiety, I would say like 70 to 90% straight up. One thing I'm working on right now is cutting down caffeine, so I would give you that as a tip, but I would totally be a hypocrite. I'm literally drinking tea right now. I did switch from coffee to tea though, so I mean, there's progress, but can't promise I'll ever make that one fully, you know, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for joining me. Comment your tips down below and your experiences. Which one of these tips are you going to take on and try yourself? And like this video if you want to help a girl out. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to be notified every time that I post. I usually do like spiritual talky videos as well as pick a card tarot readings, so if you're into that stuff, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.